What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Friday, November 12th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live, and then follow me on Twitter, at Josh Engleman. Only place you'll get updates to my sims as we get closer to the lock, although not today because I'm still on vacation, but that'll happen again on Monday. Also, comment section. I need your favorite contender, your least favorite contender, any contenders you thought were going to be on this list that you did not see. Finally, shout out to No House Advantage for being the presenting sponsor of this video. Use the promo code Awesemo when signing up to get $25 on your first deposit. Now, we round out the bottom of my top 10 with Anthony Edwards, Cedi Osman, Evan Mobley, Anthony Davis, and Miles Bridges on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. First up at number 5, we've got Zach LaVine. He is projected for 43.5. The goal is 49. He's in the optimal lineup 15% of the time. It shouldn't be surprising to see why Zach LaVine could pop today. No Vooch, 36 minutes, 1.2 fantasy points per minute, 31% usage, and honestly, wouldn't be surprised if it went up a tick with no Vooch. 26, 6, and 5, maybe a stock and a half. Pace up spot against Golden State, which is awesome. Tough defensive matchup, so it's probably close to neutral, but either way. Bulls, no Vooch, Zach LaVine being able to take as many shots as he won at 8K. His GPP goal being 49. Is somebody going to be surprised if Zach LaVine goes for 50 fantasy points today? Which, by the way, he does about 25% of the time. I certainly won't be. Now, at number 4, we're off to Cleveland for point guard, shooting guard eligible Darius Garland. He is 6,700, projected for 37 fantasy points. The goal is 43. He is in the optimal lineup 16% of the time. We're looking at 35 minutes and well over a fantasy point per minute. Maybe not well over. That's probably an exaggeration. Like 1.05 fantasy points per minute. No Colin Sexton right now. So Garland gets a mild usage bump. He's up to 26, 19 real points, 7 assists, 3 boards, maybe a steal. Pace down spot against Detroit, which is kind of a bummer. But it's Detroit, and they stink. So it's a little bit better of a spot for Cleveland. They should be able to look pretty good here. You can already see Evan Mobley is on this list, and now we've got Darius Garland. So don't be afraid to go here with Colin Sexton out. Next up at number 3, we've got Darius Bailey, power forward center eligible, 4,900, projected for 30. The goal is 36, and he's in the optimal lineup 16% of the time. Bailey is pretty much a lock for 30 minutes and somewhere in the neighborhood of 0.9 to 1 fantasy points per minute. 13.5 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, maybe a steal, maybe a block. It's just a little bit of everything, but you also get some positional flexibility with forward and center. The real key here, not a great defense for the Sacramento Kings, plus pace up spot for Oklahoma City. They gain 2.2 possessions over their average. All things considered, if you're getting Darius Bailey sub 5K, he's one of the few guys on the Thunder whose minutes don't really go anywhere. And on a day like today, when they face the Kings, I think that's a major benefit. Now at number 2, I'm looking at Kevin Porter. Unfortunately, just point guard eligible here on DraftKings. Better positionality on FanDuel, but it still doesn't matter. 6,400. Projected for 34. The goal is only 42. He's in the optimal lineup 16% of the time. I gave him 33 minutes, right around a fantasy point per minute in this spot against Portland. 24% usage, 16 points, 6 assists, 5 boards. That's a really balanced line. When you get someone that can go for 16, 6, and 5, plus maybe a steal or 2, it doesn't take much for that to turn into 28 and 8. And at that point in time, you're starting to see a really big score. So for Kevin Porter on a day like today against Portland, you're hoping that he has the MPE, but I think it's even more interesting to see that he can get all the way to second without it. If Kevin Porter Jr. had point guard shooting guard or even point guard small forward like he does on FanDuel, I think he might be my number 1 contender on DraftKings to start the day. Now, before we get to that number 1 contender, one last reminder, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman, only place you get the updates to my sims as we get closer to lock. I need to know in the comment section who your favorite and least favorite contenders are. And finally, once again, shout out to No House Advantage for being the presenting sponsor of this video. Very little value to go around. This one's going to surprise people, but Josh Richardson is my number 1 contender to start the day. Shooting guard, small forward eligibility. So we're right away. We get shooting guard, small forward, guard forward, and utility. 5 of the 8 spots. He is 3,300. He's played north of 30 minutes the past 2 games with no Jaylen Brown. And I'm projecting him at 29, so even better. There is upside here from a minutes perspective. And at 3,300, you don't really need a lot. He's projected for 24. The goal is 29. He's in the optimal lineup 17% of the time. He's around a 0.8 fantasy point per minute guy. Right around 20% usage. I got it at 18 right now. A little bit hot. 18 and a half-ish. 12 points, 4 boards, 2.5 assists, a steal, probably not a block. Slight pace up spot against Milwaukee, and not the same negative defensive matchup that you normally see. But if Josh Richardson is playing 30 minutes a game for Boston with no Jaylen Brown, and he's only 3,300, you're going to be hard-pressed to find better point per dollar plays than him. And the fact that he's got shooting guard small forward eligibility, the best that you can have, just doubles down on it. Now, you can see Jay Rich at 17%, not all that different from Anthony Edwards at 13% at number 10. If I took 1 minute away from Richardson, he would fall towards the bottom of this list. So don't think that he is just some slam dunk play because I have him number 1. But right now, I think he's just simply the guy to be most optimal for the day. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Friday, November 12th. FanDuel version of this video is around here somewhere. Make sure you check it out. Good luck today, everybody. Enjoy your night. Win some money. Have a great weekend. I will be back again on Monday in my own office with my microphone again for another edition of the Contenders.